mag-switch account ako para mapanood ko yung...
Ano mo sa TV? Tingnan mo daw.
Ayan na.
Sounds? May sounds?
Take the train.
Join. If it's just a question of added,
Take the train.
go and look for it. Join. maghanap kayo because if you are not ready to I might just as well close all of you and we revert back to the line telephone. At kukunin ko yan, i-expropriate ko sa gobyerno. Alam mo itong I'll be straight. Smart. Pati itong globe. Ilang taon na ito? At ang sagot palagi sa akin, the party cannot be reached. Saan pa na pumunta yung yawa na yun? Kung ganun lang naman ibigay ninyo sa amin, we are a republic, a sovereign country. Bear that in mind because the patience of the Filipino people is reaching its limit. At I will be the one to articulate the anger of the Filipino people. And you might not want what I intend to do with you. Kindly improve the services before December. I want to call Jesus Christ to Bethlehem. Better have that line cleared. Alam sa totoo lang ate na po, ano ako sa inyo. I have been a citizen of this country and parang nilalaro lang ninyong kayong may pera. Puta. May pera kayo? Negosyo kayo. Wala kayong pera, putang, umalis kayo dito. You give us half deals, half cook, transactions, lousy service. Tapos ang tao nagbabayad. Tell us now if you cannot really improve on it. Because I will work by December. I have 2 years. The next 2 years will be spent improving the telecommunications of this country without you. I will find a way. I will talk to Congress and find a way how to do it. Last year, I said that distributing economic business activities is imperative to our country's sustained and equitable growth. Today, I reiterate that statement. I issued Administrative Order Number 18, directing concerned agencies to strengthen the development of special economic zones in areas outside Metro Manila. I also issued Executive Order Number the same 114 to institutionalize the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa program. This consolidates and refocuses existing economic and social welfare programs, activities and projects toward the countryside. It is also an international agency council headed by Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdia, which will create a framework for the effective implementation of the project. Kung hindi niyo ako naiintindihan sa sinabasa ko, mas lalo ako. In 2021, we aim to increase access to health agency council by continuously hiring and deploying more than 20,000 health professionals. This will augment health workforce in LGUs, particularly in isolated and disadvantaged areas. We will implement projects to establish and improve barangay health stations, rural health units, and other health care facilities. And we will need to address internal security. We are pursuing a whole of the nation approach to bring peace and order, development in the countryside. We need to provide intervention and implement the barangay development program. This will provide clear, this will provide cleared and threatened communities. This refers to a program where the armed forces will play a vital role in the one nation approach. This is what it's meant by it. And that every agency of the government, including the armed forces of the Philippines, should participate. And I am aware of the skirmishes and the assassination of our soldiers. And I said, correct this so that we can proceed with the barangay implementation as fast as possible. We have made significant strides in the past 4 years, but we need the support of local government leaders. We need your help to implement the barangay development program. Certain sectors expressed concern when I declared martial law in Mindanao and its extension 3 times. But 2019 ended because my office requesting any further extension. Martial law in Mindanao ended without abuses by the civilian sector, by the police, by the military. It ended because this time I know that they know how to love the country. I thank Congress for the support to this administration programs. Congress has been very productive, but much more remains to be done. You know, actually, my speech, if you followed it carefully, it's all a plea to Congress to do this, to do that, to make a law or craft a whatever. And this one, I strongly urge Congress to pass a law establishing the Department of Overseas Filipinos, solely on addressing the concerns of Filipinos abroad and their families. I reiterate the swift passage before this. Kawawa kasi itong ating mga overseas. If it's only an office there in the Labor Department, they are overworked or for whatever reason, their needs, their pleas are not really attended to with dispatch and with care. OFW, pati itong ano ngayon, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, I will go for it. We will need it to help them. I reiterate the swift passage of a law reviving the death penalty by lethal injection for crimes specified under the Comprehensive Dangerous Act of 2002. I did not hear so much clapping, so I presume that they are not interested. Wala ka mo. Someday I'll tell you the story
Sa Facebook pala.
what happened to the Philippines. Hindi ngayon. But when sabihin ko sa inyo ang totoo, bakit nagaganito yung droga ng Pilipinas? Why the drug syndicates continue to operate just like the countries of Colombia, Mexico, and it is being played inside the national penitentiaries. Para tayong talagang binababoy tayo. Sabihin ko sa inyo. But this is not a time for storytelling. Sona kasi ito. So dito na. This law will not only help us deter criminality, but also save our children from the dangers posed by the illegal and dangerous drugs. May I be allowed with the indulgence of the body? Itong bakit talaga ako galit sa droga. Let us make this a semi-formal speech. Alam mo kasi, 5 pamilya members o 6 or 7. Pagka bumagsak yung tatay to drugs, the family crumbles. There's no more home. Druga, and if he's receiving his salary, nagtatrabaho sa pantalan, 300 a day. Tapos ang shabu is sold at 2. He has about 100 to bring home. Kaya pagka gano'n, nag-aaway-aaway na. Ang mga bata, hindi nakapag-aral. Iba, ligaw na mga babae into early prostitution. Kung ano-ano nangyari. Hindi lang alam nitong mga na this is happening all over the country every day. And what is really very tragic is this. When the family starts to crumble, there's no more family home. And invariably, the wife would look for another husband, would look for a job, usually easily doon sa abroad. At yung asawa, aalis, yung lalaki na sa droga, yung mga anak iniiwan sa kapitbahay, sa kapatid. And the ferocity of the loss of the Filipino family home has been destroyed. Kaya kung anong mangyari nito, the wife works in the Middle East. I am not zeroing on any particular country, mind you. But alam natin, there are tribes in the Middle East which would allow rape as part of the territory of being a house help. Kasama yan. Kasama talaga yan. So yan ang mahirap dyan. You have a wife that are being crucified, being used, pagpadala ng pera, tapos ang mga anak, asan nasa sabi na rin. Kasi these are the guys that the Shabu people would really, stick by them until it crumbles, the resistance. And then you have plenty of this all over the country. Hindi lang nila alam. Yung sinasabi nila ng misery sa human rights, plus 10 yan. Not to count the victims of crimes perpetrated by people addicted to smoke. That is the reason why I'm so vicious in my galit talaga ako. Nilalaroan tayo. Well, I don't know. Any other president might. Pero ako ayaw kong lalaroan ng Pilipino. Do not do it in my country because I will really kill you. That is a commitment. Owning safe, decent, and affordable housing is every Filipino's dream. But the housing market remains inaccessible to most of our countrymen. I renew my call for Congress to pass the National Housing Development Bill and the Rental Housing Subsidy Bill. These will enable all Filipinos, regardless of social status, to live in decent homes where their families can lead meaningful lives. I also call on Congress to amend Republic Act number 10912 for the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. In this time of great pandemic and forthcoming reconstruction requiring professionals to undergo seminars is burdensome and not realistic. This must end. Ito pang isa. May mga profession. Singit ko na lang lahat to tell this is to inform the nation. May mga profession na they would require, I think it's the nicest, they would require them to come to Manila to retrain and for another round of expenses. Itong mga seminar na ito, dapat mahinto. I don't know in other provinces, but during my time yung sa barangay expeditions ng mga opisyal, hininto ko rin yan. And which reminds me, I will act on this also due time. We hail our health professionals as heroes. Now is the time to pass the Advanced Nursing Education Act and the law instituting the Medical Reserve Board. COVID-19 will not only be the last pandemic. We need to create National Disease Prevention Management Authority to better respond to future outbreaks. We count on Congress to full support. You can just let it remain for a while in the Department of Health kung wala pang pera, but you have to expand the services. It would also entail a little bit of money, but not really as much as expensive when you set up a department. In the long term, we are looking into the creation of the National Disease Prevention and Management Authority to better prepare for the pandemic, protect lives, and allow development to proceed even in the worst of times. We are counting on the full support of Congress for this critical, important endeavor. I don't know, but I leave it to Congress to really. It's another department. There seems it could be a multi-layer, redundant thing between the health and the proposed department. I call on Congress to prioritize the passage of a law for the unified system of separation, retirement, and pension, and of the military and uniformed personnel, without, however, diminishing the benefits that our uniformed personnel are entitled to under the existing laws. There is a need to adjust the pension system, which will be applicable only to the newly hired uniformed personnel, so as not to cause a ballooning effect against the budget of the military in the years to come, and yet maintain the pension benefits those already in service under the present law. This issue needs a solution now. Umpisahan natin ngayon para hindi na maging problema sa sunod na mga taon. I want to, one of the, this is not politicking. I am not running. I cannot run anymore. Yung dinoble ko yung sweldo ng police pati army. It was really a clarion call para for them also to have a decent life and that they're able to get the things which ordinarily cannot be reached by any government employee. Ang akin doon is yung corruption. That maybe it might be a vain attempt, but maybe dagdagan ng sweldo para it would be a hedge against corruption. We must also modernize the Bureau of Fire Protection and the Bureau of Immigration with urgency. Alam mo, sa Davao, and if you go there, I can show you. One of the serviceable trucks, fire trucks that we have in the city of Davao. Of course, ang city meron ng sarili, aside from the Bureau of Fire, which is really national. Meron yung Bureau of Fire, would you believe it, serviceable still. Ang pangalan ng truck is Studebaker. Ang katawan, ang talagang matatag ang katawan. Kaya ang makina isuso. Pero okay pa rin. It can put out. But totoo. This is how this Bureau of Fire issue medyo na overlook natin ng matagal. I emphasize the creation of the Department of Disaster Resilience and our people's safety, which cannot be delegated to any council or commission. Equally important is the establishment of evacuation center in every city, province, municipality throughout the country. We must act before another major disaster shakes into action. Problem is disaster and even a fire. This cannot be made a study for projection when the earthquake would suddenly come and make a big crack there. Di natin alam talaga. Ang ibig kong sabihin, this will require more than just one brainwork kung paano talaga itong how to prevent or avoid disaster. It would be, by the way, just before starting, I was tempted to say it, pero baka magtindigan kayo. It will be all right for me if Bongo will just stay. wala akong problema. Sabi ko na this piece of speech of mine would be one of the longest sonas that I will deliver. Nakita ko yung page pagbigay sa akin. Yung ibang input akin. At yung lahat. Ang nangyari po, binalik ko sa kanila. Make it short. Pagbalik sa akin, mas makapal na. Nandiyan na ngayon. Ito na ngayon. The responsible extraction and equitable distribution of natural resources remain among my non-negotiables. I reiterate the need for the passage of the National Land Use Act, which has been pending for decades. Pakisilip lang ho ninyo yan. For the rest of my term, I hope to see concerted efforts in protecting the environment. The rehabilitation of Boracay Island showcased our resolve to safeguard the environment. Boracay is doing well because of its scenery. If it's only a coconut and a black sand, white sand and water, wala yan. Pero you add the visitors there, then it becomes a very tempting destination. We have seen remarkable emergence of the island back to its former glory. I want this sustained. I ask Congress to enact a law creating, importante ito, the Boracay Island Authority or BIDA. We need it. I cannot stress enough the importance of agriculture. The growth of our economy depends on the robust we must ito isa for the welfare of our coconut farmers and the development of the coconut industry. Both of the executive department pati ito. At ito yung pera na nakuha doon sa sequester. And itong perang malaking ito, gagamitin ito for the welfare of the farmers. The problem is, we can no longer trace who are the farmers of yesterday. Marcos is a distant star. We do not know. Ako alam ko because we had a little piece also that was covered by the land reform. Hindi na natin malaman kung sino ang may-ari. So I think Congress should look again and try to sort out how best the money can be utilized. I will not make any suggestion, but I leave it to Congress to decide what to do with it. And once again, urge both houses of Congress to pass a version of the bill establishing the Coconut Farmers Trust Fund. Tulungan natin ang ating mga magsasaka pagka hindi mawawala yung pera, bilyon yan. Diyos ko po. Well, anyway, we have learned so many lessons along the way. I am also requesting Congress to pass the Rural Agricultural and Fisheries Development Financing System Act. We aim to provide adequate, accessible, and affordable food for every Filipino through the Plant program. After the build, I think this is easier to achieve. A few good men, few good regional directors, Daro, and dedicated workers down below could make this thing a success. It's a build to plant lang yan. It is more of well, how you try to convince the farmers to cooperate government for their benefit. This 66 billion agricultural stimulus package will help the agricultural and fisheries sector recover. I hope so. We need to build trust and confidence in online transactions, stronger protection of online consumers, and enabling measures for online business needed to the enactment of an Internet Transaction Act. This is very good. I thus direct the Department of Trade and Industry and other relevant agencies to work on it closely with Congress, ensuring that the provisions of the proposed bill are responsive to the needs of the consumers while promoting the growth of e-commerce in the country. If you are tired of clapping, you just say so I can make a shortcut. Pabilisan lang yan. On the path of better governance, we travel with other partners, both old and new, have helped bolstering the antiquated public health system for bringing home a laid of Filipinos overseas, for filling in supply gaps for crucial medical supplies, against China. But if you put bases here, you double the spectacle of a, a most destructive thing. Just like Manila during the Second World War, during the retaking of this city, it was one of the most devastated cities in the world. Kaya maglagay-lagay ka ng base at this time. This will ensure if war breaks out, because there would be atomic arsenals brought in. This will ensure the extinction of the Filipino race. We work without fail
Yun kami.
against China. But if you put pieces here, you double the spectacle of the most destructive. Just like Manila during the Second World War, during the retaking of this city, one of the most devastated cities in the world. Kaya maglagay-lagay ka ng base at this time. This will ensure if war breaks out, because there would be atomic arsenals floating. This will ensure the extinction of the Philippines. We want without fail against China. But if you put pieces here, you double the spectacle. Talagang inutil ako dyan. Walang magawa. I cannot. The moment I sent my Marines there at the coastal shores of Palawan, tinamaan ng cruise missile lahat yan. Hindi pa nga naka-set sail yan eh. Sabog na. Let me see again that the victory in a global battle against COVID-19 would take longer than we expect. Everyone's cooperation is needed. I know that you have, the Filipino people, have sacrificed a lot, but we have no other choice but to work together and to do even more. I must admit that our actions have been far from perfect. Totoo yan, I admit it. And there could be improvements here and there. Government, including myself, assure you that we will not stop until we get things right and better for you. I know that many of you are worried not only about health and safety, but also about our ability to move around and ride public transportation. The depletion of your savings due to the rising cost of goods and the loss of your incomes due to uncertainties in your jobs and livelihood. I assure you that your government will address squarely these problems and challenges to overcome them and proceed to a new normal. Marami ho talagang mawawalaan ng loss for the middle income. They buy a car on installment basis. You cannot keep up with the amortization. You lose it. You lose the car. And you are forced to ride on public utility. Concomitantly, didiretso rin itong mga kriminal na rarami at crimes will increase. But let me assure you, for as long as I am president, there can never be a runaway crime in any of our cities. Hindi ako papayag. I can assure you, we will remain peaceful. Relatively peaceful. Hindi naman very peaceful. Pero kung sabihin mo na kagaya ng hold up dito, hold up, alam naman nila kung anong mangyari. You know what will happen to you. I am addressing myself to the criminals. You commit hold-ups, you commit rape, you commit all sorts of things, and you harm the public. Then, kaaway mo na ako. Pag bumalik kayo sa dati, gaya noon, patong-patong na naman ang patay dito. Sigurado, hahanapin ko kayo. Do not ever go back to your old ways. Paghanap na lang kayo ng anong trabaho dyan, magtiis kayo. To open up economy to pre-COVID-19 levels at this time is not an option because whatever good it can produce will only be covered up or be outweighed by the bad it will generate sometimes. Haste makes waste. The recent upsurge of infection, when you open little windows of resumption of business, is proof of that. I am happy that I've talked to you today. You know, in other places, they opened up too early, too soon. America is one. China, well, fortunately, it was arrested on time. China and the rest, for those who open up, and those who do not follow the protocols of at least the World Health Organization, they are suffering. They have at least 140 deaths. And America, nagpupulang sila lahat. No nation on earth was really prepared for COVID. No amount of preparation. It was that kind of microbes visits once every 100 years. Wala pa yung mga tatay natin. What they suffered was second war. But tayo, we're not ready and therefore we naglamon the lives and health of the people. Certainly no one would want to end up in the negative side of the equation. Not me, not us. All I ask is that you continue to put your faith in your government and work with us in achieving what is best for the country. Together, let us do the most that we can to ensure that the health, safety, and well-being of every Filipino, especially those severely affected, are taken care of. Together, we shall fight the pandemic with the same fervor as our campaign against illegal drugs, criminality, and corruption. And friends, parochial, government worker, I'm addressing each and every Filipino that the government cannot do this without children. More than ever, we need within each and every one of us. We are being tested as a people and as a nation. Wars times loom ahead, but I do hope that this spirit of solidarity and unity will serve as a drumbeat to which we shall march in unison in our quest for the light at the end of the tunnel. I appeal to each and every Filipino, let us take care of one another. Ito ang panahon para magtulungan, hindi panahon para maglamanan, maglaman, lamang, mamang, dila ko. Hindi maglamang at pagkakaisa. My faith in the Filipino innate patience, resilience, and determination to bounce back is unwavering. Let us share our blessings with those who have little and those who have none. This is the time to bring out the best in us. The woes that weigh heavily on our shoulders may bend our back, but they shall not bend or break our spirit. The rebels of adversity, more resilient and strong, built by Nina, shall rise. Together we shall overcome. Before I pardon the time, but it was really allotted. I would just statement between us sa gobyerno kung hindi tayo nakakaintindihan. You know, drill on extended, he was defending us when this of Ayala water was being drafted. And why are you bakit kasi ikaw lang ang galit? Nasabi mo that you know that you cannot pass it. You cannot suppress it. But you know, protecting my describe using the dictionary is synonym of oligarchy. Then you proceeded to characterize everyone, every name, and then said that that Philippines. By what? By taking control of the water and the electricity and power. Yan ang oligarchy mo, Drilon. Wala nang oligarchy dito except that they have control. Look at how can you now craft a new contract? Because I would insist that you pay the billions and billions that you some water on. They're being collected in 90s. Ilang bilyon na ikaw lang mag-isa. Unless you were or help when you were there in the Accra. We do not even know ang mga abogado sa public documents. Electricity, ayaw mag-increase. Wala. I have says this to you. I do not like it. It's at the time, but since it's the time for people to know and people to really contract. Yung transmission line
At mga kapuso, dyan po ang ikalimang State of the Nation Address ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Ilan po sa mga isyong tinalakay niya? Balikan po natin unang-una yung coronavirus. Nagpasalamat si Pangulong Duterte sa lahat ng nakausap niya mismo si Chinese President Xi Jinping at sinabi niya na nakiusap siya sa Pangulo ng China na kung maaari ay unahin ang Pilipinas sa mga makakatanggap ng bakuna at nakiusap din siya na kung maaari bigyan ng credit o pautangin ang Pilipinas para makakuha ng ganitong bakuna. Pero hindi po malinaw kung ano ang naging tugon dito ni President Xi Jinping. At kasabay nito, nagbabala ang Pangulo sa anyay mga oportunista sa panahon ng pandemya. Ang sabi niya ay hindi dapat sinasamantala itong panahon ng pandemya at ilan nga po sa mga nabanggit niya sa umpisa at sa pagtatapos ng kanyang State of the Nation address si Senator Franklin Drilon at sinabi nga niya na ipinagtataka niya kung bakit ipinagtatanggol umano ni Senator Drilon ang mga oligarkiya pero base naman po sa report ng GMA News Online, sinabi po ni Senator Drilon na hindi raw oligarkiya ang kanya ipinagtatanggol kundi press freedom. At mga kapuso, mamaya po makikita po natin ang iba pang laman ng State of the Nation address ni Pangulong Duterte pero sa ngayon po para po sa mga highlight at mas malalim na pagtalakay sa ikalimang Sona ni Pangulong Duterte, tumutok po kayo sa 24 oras at mamayang gabi sa Saksi. At maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtitiwala. Sa ngalan po ng lahat ng mga bumubuo na GMA News and Public Affairs, ako po si PR Tonghel. Puso para sa